top bottom left there, it is Marc Crawford. You can recognize him right in here in the BT studios as well. How did that come about?
I'm good friends with Bruce Allen, who's Michael's agent. I met Michael a couple times in Vancouver. Matter of fact, I remember when I was working for CBC Hockey Night, he came in and did the game with John Shorthouse on radio. It was one of his dreams to do that, and we had a great chat that night. So anyways, he was playing in Zurich, and we got to go in and see him. He has a warm-up before every concert, and he does a different song. And that night, because I was there, he did the hockey song.
So you are in Zurich now, just to update people on what you're doing. Tell us about your team.
We have a great team. We're first place in the Swiss League.
Nice.
We've won the regular season portion. We've still got about 4 or 5 games left before the end of the season. But a lot of people think we've got arguably the best team in Europe. I've got 5 kids playing for the Swiss national team in the Olympics. One guy, Canuck prospect, Ron Kinnan's playing for the Latvians. So we have a very good group, and we're going to be trying to win a Swiss championship in March and April.
That is fantastic. And a little Olympic break for you here.
Yeah.
That's highly unusual.
Well, you know what? The first Olympics I coached, and that was a lot of fun. But the next 3 Olympics, those breaks, you just don't get them. And you know, I've been in hockey all my life and never had a winter vacation. Now I've had 3 of them, and this is great to be able to come back to Vancouver. We still have a home here. Our daughter's at UBC playing volleyball in the great volleyball program out there, so we get a chance to see her, and it's always nice to be back and see the North Shore Mountains and all the beauty.
Isn't it beautiful? It really is. And you were telling me about your son who went to BCIT here and is actually an editor for the NHL Network. Yeah,
he's in the hockey business, and you know, I hope one day that he can make me look good again.
You look great. Come on. Okay, let's get back to the Olympics, because obviously that is very topical right now. You had the great fortune or the great pressure to be the first head coach of the NHLers who were given the break to go. I just looking over, and I didn't even write down the whole team, but Gretzky, Lindros, Linden, Bork, Brodeur, Waugh, Sakic, Pronger, Shanahan, Yzerman. How do you decide who gets ice time?
Wow, you know, it was a great team, and it was a unique experience. The first time with the pros, and really, you didn't know exactly what to expect. No. But I've told this story a couple times this week. I remember going into the tournament, and I was actually pretty decent friends with a lot of the NHLers, known them from All-Star games and things like that. And Jaromir Jagr and I had a kind of a relationship, and their dressing room was right beside ours in Canada. I remember the first day I went over and tried to strike up a conversation with him, and Jaromir went, "It's different now." So it was kind of a little bit of foreshadowing, you know, because we ended up losing to the Czechs in that shootout game, but they were so ready for the coming together and what you need to do to become a team that wins. And I think that's what Canada has learned through these experiences. We had a great tournament. We fell just a little bit short, lost in a shootout.
Just shy of the medals.
Exactly. And but you know, I think at the end it's the team that comes together the best that always wins. That coupled with the guy that usually has the best goaltending.
Of course, and that is one thing that people are very concerned about with the current Canadian men's national team. Roberto Luongo getting the start in the second game that the team is going to play. Carey Price got the first victory when taking on Norway. What do you expect to see? Who do you think there's a clear number 1 here?
Well, for me, I think Carey's had a great season, and especially lately, he's played extremely well. So I think he'll probably get the chance. But there'll be a chance when you head into the games that count, the medal round and the qualification games. If you falter heading into that, then they'll make the switch to Roberto, because they know he's been there. But who knows? You know, they might have a totally different opinion. I don't think you can go wrong, but there's no doubt that your goaltender will probably have to save you at some point in the tournament. There's going to be a period where you don't play well as a team, and your goalie's got to bail you out. And either one of those guys can do it. But personally, I think it's going to be Carey, because I think the way it sets up for it, that's what it looks like.
Momentum is a big part of this, and like you said, switching gears if you need to. It's good to have option A and B be such great goaltenders. If you go to option C, you're in big trouble. Indeed. Now, have you looked at, well, obviously you've looked at all, you've watched a lot of hockey, especially with some of your players playing on the Swiss team, as you mentioned. how would you rank it now? Like, because we all go in as Canadians saying, we're coming back with the gold.
Yeah.
It's almost like that sense of entitlement.
Well, yeah, there is certainly a sense of entitlement here, but we follow it so closely. And the difference between the various countries is it's just not as inundated as we are here in Canada. I think the U.S. are going to be a great team. They're going to be a force here. They got young legs and obviously great goaltending with Jonathan Quick and Ryan Miller. So they've got kind of the same question. The Russians playing at home. The question is, will they be able to come together as a team? They've got a lot of players that are great individuals, but do they play a good enough team game? I'm not sold on them, even though they should get some momentum playing at home. I think Canada is the best team, and I believe that Mike Babcock and that coaching staff will really have them focused in. At the end, it comes down to the players, and we've got a great group of players playing for Canada in this Olympics, and I think their pride is they know they have to come together. You're going to see it ramp up as the week goes on. Like, yesterday's game was not a great game, but the emotion gets better as you move on in these tournaments.
And just that size of the ice.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Wow, that's a lot more skating.
It is a lot more skating, and what happens is you have to close on people in the defensive zone quicker, so mobility is such a big part of it. And for the offensive players, they have a chance to escape more than they do in the NHL. In the NHL, close down on people, and there's not a lot happening once you get those big, strong NHL defensemen against you.
Marc Crawford here, chatting with us on the BT couch. We'd be remiss if we didn't wish you a happy belated birthday.
Well, thank you.
Yesterday was Marc Crawford's
Happy Valentine's Day to everybody today.
Yeah,
it reminds me I have to do something nice for my wife.
Good call. Good call. See? Good reason to get up early in the morning this morning.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. We're going to take a quick break. Please come back again and visit us. Always fun to have you here.